region.
All right. How are you guys? I'll kind of focus on you guys since I can't see them. Okay, so my name is Briggs. They call me Jim Briggs here. Everyone calls me Briggs, and it's just because I was in the military and stuff like that. So my name is Briggs. I'm a YouTuber. My main channel is called The World According to Briggs, which right now it has, I think, 1.1 million subscribers. I have a few other channels, which they're there, but the main one is what I focus on because that's where the money is basically, and that's why I do YouTube, for the money. I am creative, but I like to be creative with my bank account more than my ideas. So I mean, it's a form of creativity. It's just not drawing or something like that. But I am a YouTuber. I'm not an influencer, because influencers are these people that, try and get you to buy things and stuff like that. I'm not selling anything. I show you I'm almost like a movie versus a commercial. I just want you to come there and enjoy it, and pretty much for the most part, pay me to watch it, and then we're done. Influence wants you to build a community with them, and they want you to buy things they're suggesting. I don't do that. I don't even do sponsored videos. So according to Forbes, this is in 2019, being a YouTube creator is the #1 job that high school kids to 3rd grade want to be right now. Now, I find that very strange. I mean, I think when I was a kid, everyone wanted to be a doctor or a lawyer or a police officer, a fireman, something like that. And the fact that someone pushed YouTuber to the top of that list is very strange to me. But we live in a different world, right? What is your plan? You obviously want to be a animator.
I think a graphic design artist.
See, and stuff like that. I'm not selling anything. I show you I'm almost like a movie versus a commercial. I just want you to come there and enjoy it, and pretty much for the most part, pay me to watch it, and then we're done. Influence wants you to build a community with them, and they want you to buy things they're suggesting. I don't do that. I don't even do sponsored videos. So according to Forbes, this is in 2019, being a YouTube creator is the #1 job that high school kids to 3rd grade want to be right now. Now, I find that very strange. I mean, I think when I was a kid, everyone wanted to be a doctor or a lawyer or a police officer, a fireman, something like that. And the fact that someone pushed YouTuber to the top of that list is very strange to me. But we live in a different world, right? What is your plan? You obviously want to be a animator.
I think a graphic design artist.
See, the world's changing. Graphic designer wasn't even a thing when I was in high school. Animator was. What are your plans?
Probably an animator in 3D.
There we go. See, the world is changing, and I'm kind of strange for being a YouTuber or anyone that creates anything online. I'm sure most of you are looking at me going, this dude's kind of old to be a YouTuber. Well, I am. I'm not the normal YouTuber, but that kind of tells you that anyone can do it. Anyone can become a YouTube creator or TikTok or whatever. There's no age limit. It's available for everyone. And I'm a perfect example of that. 7 years ago, I didn't even know how to upload a video. I knew nothing about YouTube. I didn't even know YouTubers make money. I just used it as a place I went to watch people get tased. I don't know why I love that so much. It makes me feel better about my day if I see someone get tased, whether it's in a training environment or they just got crazy in the middle of the street. That just gets me right here every time. I love watching people get tased. I hope you guys on there love watching people get tased also. It's a lot of fun. So getting tased is a lot of fun, but making videos, I think, is a little more fun, and you don't bite your tongue when someone shoots you with a taser thing. That's something I've learned over the last couple of years. If you get tased, sometimes you bite your tongue really bad, so don't get tased. So anyway, so it's available for everyone, and I started YouTube because I read a magazine. Do you guys know what those are? Okay. I think this is the last magazine I had in my house, and it was back in like 2015, maybe. It was the Game Informer one, like GameStop. They hand you out the magazine. Okay, I don't even know if they give those out anymore. but it was in the back of my car. I was waiting for my wife. We were going someplace and I just picked it up and I looked at it and the cover said, YouTuber makes $14 million in 1 year. And I had no idea you could make money doing it. That's how foreign this whole thing was to me. That YouTuber was PewDiePie. You guys know who PewDiePie is? Everyone does? Okay. I mean, even us old folks know who PewDiePie is. When you make $14 million in a year making videos, people start to know who you are. And that's how I got into it. And it wasn't because I wanted to express myself artistically. I'm the exact opposite. I need a piece of that $14 million. So that's why I started YouTube. And then I started looking into it and I didn't know how to even figure out YouTube. So I started looking at just websites. How do you start YouTube? And then one day, after about 4 months of reading articles, I realized that everything you need to learn about YouTube is on YouTube. Everything. I'm like, this is incredible. What kind of camera should I buy? And it gave me video after video after video. I spent 7 months watching videos on how to create a YouTube channel. I learned everything about how to make money on YouTube, what equipment to use, what are the best genres to get into, niches, what is CPM, all that stuff I learned in about 7 months. I tried 2 different things. They failed miserably because I didn't know what I was doing. But then I found my niche, and it was by accident. When you start YouTube or TikTok or anything like that, you could pivot. So let's say you start one thing, you're vlogging, you're doing animation. You'd be surprised that at some point you're all, well, people seem to respond when I do this a little bit better. So you pivot and you do this until you fall into your groove. I fell into my groove by accident. Do you guys know who David Letterman is? Okay. David Letterman, when he had his talk show, he used to do a top 10 list every day. I grew up watching David Letterman. I loved top 10 lists. I thought they were really, really fun. And I was making these videos. I was going nowhere. I think I tried gaming. I tried a little vlogging for a couple months, and it was doing nothing. And a friend of mine was moving to Las Vegas. And I probably had like 50 videos up at the time, not even that, probably 25 videos up at the time. And I was lucky if they got 100 views in a month. That's all I was getting. And I actually thought I was doing pretty good at that point. And my friend was moving to Las Vegas. So I decided to make a joke video for Facebook about top 10 things you should know before you move, top 10 reasons not to move to Las Vegas, right? No research, no nothing. I just did some stereotypical jokes about Las Vegas and threw it up on Facebook. Everyone got a good laugh. That was the end of that video. Then one week I got busy and I didn't make a video. So I'm like, oh, well, I got that Facebook one. I'll just throw that up there. I threw that up and me and my wife were driving up to Seattle. So I hit upload, got in my car and left. Now, keep in mind, my videos were maybe getting 100 views a month just for one video. That was amazing. From Portland to my drive up to Seattle, I opened up my phone and I had 30,000 views on that one video. And I was like, that's all of a sudden I pivot. I may be onto something. So we canceled our trip to Seattle. We stayed the night, left the next day. I didn't meet with the people I was going to meet with because I just blew them off. I blew them off, which is really bad. I do voice work too. So like if you get a job from a lot of different government agencies and you have to sit through some kind of safety briefing, you might be hearing my voice. So I was interviewing for one of those or doing a rehearsal thing. So I blew them off. I came down and made top 10 reasons not to move to Portland, top 10 reasons this. And it just grew to World According to Briggs now. Now I travel, I would say about 25 weeks a year. And I go everywhere in the United States. I go to small towns. I go to big cities. As soon as I leave here, I'm going to pack because I'm on a plane to Honduras, then Belize, Houston, Galveston, a couple other places. And that's what it's like to be a YouTube creator. You adjust things and you pivot different things. So right now did I lose on something?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. The way you looked over, I'm all, oh, did I say something wrong? But so as you get into these things online, whether it's TikTok, whether it's YouTube, you'll find that you have to adjust all the time. And that's the key to being a creator. You have to be flexible. Now, okay, so I'm getting ahead of myself. So that's how I got into YouTube. I read a magazine. I started doing it. I learned everything on YouTube. Then as you start to get more in touch with it, you start watching other YouTube creators and what they're doing. And you start doing what they're doing. And then you find out everyone's just copying each other. And that's one of the biggest problems with YouTube going on right now. I have a channel that I put up 3 videos a week. There's like 4 channels. 2 days after I put up a video, they put up the same video. And yeah, so that creates a problem. And there's little things you have to adjust again for that. Now I keep moving over so the light keeps getting me in the face. So the point I'm trying to make with this whole thing that I got kind of lost, is when you're creating things online, you can't stick with one thing. You have to be flexible or you'll never make it. That is the key thing. You have to be flexible. The other key thing is, and the most important thing about creating on YouTube or any other platform, is you have to be consistent. If you upload 1 week and then don't upload for 3 weeks, you'll never gain traction. If you're uploading once a week, make sure it's every week, as long as you can. And I don't care if you're raising garden snails, right? If you have a channel devoted to raising garden snails, if you're consistent, you will find an audience. Sorry, I have these speakers in my head. I just got an email. But it doesn't matter what you do. I know a lady right now that knits every single day on YouTube. She has 200,000 followers or subscribers, right? And she used to be a postal worker. She makes double what she used to make as a postal worker, and she's retired, knitting every day at home and talking into a camera. That is all she does. You're doing your animation. If you were to just put a camera over it like this while you're drawing, you never even have to say a word. You would be making money by the end of the year, I promise, on YouTube. I'm not even kidding. Your journey for graphic arts, if you just blogged about it a little bit and how you're getting to your point, you would do it. Your desire for 3D graphics and art and animation, that's another thing. Anything like that you're doing in your life, you could put on YouTube, and I promise you, you could make money eventually, as long as you're consistent and you follow your audience. So you have to adjust. So far, do you guys have any questions? Any of the schools have questions? No? There's, listen to me ramble on at this point? I know I took some notes so far. Nothing yet, huh? Okay. So
What were those first 2 that you tried that?
I tried blogging and I tried gaming. And the only reason I did that is I saw this guy named Casey Neistat.
Yeah.
And I'm all, that's pretty cool. But I definitely wasn't as cool as him, so that didn't work out. And the other one was I just started gaming. Yeah, I'm this old and I like to play video games still to this day. And that's what PewDiePie did. So I thought, well, if you want $14 million, you got to do what the guy making $14 million does. He gamed back then. Now he just does weird stuff. But so I tried these different things and they never worked. It just wasn't my thing. But then when I found my niche, it just took off from there. And I, again, followed what the audience wanted to see. If I do something tomorrow, let's say I decide to tell the history of stop signs, find something that you like to do on there, you could make a bunch of money on it. Now, with that question, you can do anything on YouTube and you can find your audience. But like the guy with the investing in the Bitcoin, there are certain subjects that make a lot more money. And I feel like writing on a board, but I'm not going to. There's a thing in YouTube and TikTok and everything else called CPM. It's clicks per mil, right? Which is basically how much they pay you for 1,000 views. So if you're in something like mine is considered travel and real estate. I talk about where to live and stuff like that. So they call me real estate. That's a pretty high CPM. So you get paid. This is how it goes. So if you're making gaming videos, you might get $1 for every 1,000 views. The reason is because kids don't have a bunch of money to buy things. My audience is usually over the age of 30. they're established, they might be buying homes. Companies see them as a more valuable audience. So if that's what you're doing, something like that, that's in finance, real estate, travel, you'll get paid more money. So you got some kid that's a gamer, he might get a video that gets 10 million views. I might get 150,000 views. I'll make more money than he did. And it's all what you're talking about. Now, that still doesn't change the fact you can find an audience and you can make money. It's just how much money can you make? And that's something really important. You know, kind of get ahead of it as you learn about YouTube. That's one of the things you'll eventually learn. But I like to tell people that up front so they don't go down some road that they're well into and then they find out, wait, this hardly pays anything for this niche. And I mean, I've been raising these snails for 4 years and I find out that people don't pay big money for snails and slugs, you know? That's how it is. But yeah, definitely do what you like, but if you're doing it for the money, you make sure it's profitable. It's the best way I can put it. Any other questions so far?
So in there, to increase your viewership, is there an active role that you have to market that for marketing that and growing, or do you just keep doing what you're doing and it does it on its own?
I study the stats constantly. You have this whole page. Oh my God, it's insane. And when I first saw it, you wouldn't, but this is all the different stats you need that you have to study every single day. There's like 10 pages here, and it's who is clicking on your videos, where are they from, what are they interested in, what did they watch before they watched my videos. All that has to come into play so I can figure out what my next video is. So if I realize that everyone in my, got some notes, do I get one of those? So if I'm looking at my videos and I see that all my viewers were watching travel to Florida videos last week, I'm gonna make a Florida video. So it's things like that. That's, you gotta follow your audience. Yes, yes, thank you, I knew it was coming.
I know like with travel channels and things like that, it's like a mix of like videos just based off research, and there's like some that are based off like personal experience. Like which one does your channel fall under?
Mine's a little both. Now I've done a lot of traveling my day and I still travel to this day, but I put out 3 videos a week. There's no way I can keep up with my videos at 3 days a week if I was traveling too. So a lot of it goes from experience and a lot of it goes from stats. I've become an expert looking at the census website for this.
I'm just trying to figure out why it's not following you and it's looking at me for some reason. Because it should follow you like as you talk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we can stand behind you. This is what I look like.
Maybe go back.
Yeah, let's see if it follows me over here. Nope.
There you are, yeah.
It's following me a little bit? Okay, follow me a little
Keep
bit.
talking.
Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, please listen to me. Please look at me. Nope, just wants to look at me over here. No. I don't know. You want me to just pick it up and turn it? Okay.
It should like. I don't know why. It was following you for a while. No.
So I mean, you guys look great and everything like that, but hi, it's me. You've been listening to my voice for about 20 minutes. So, so you had your question about, yeah. So I ran out of places I've been to a long time ago, and I've run out of my own footage. That's another thing. I get footage from different websites. There's websites that sell you footage. So I have my own footage, which I have, you know, thousands of hours of trips I've taken. But that only gets me so far. I'd be making about 3 videos a week if it was just based on my, or 3 videos a month if it was just based on my travels. So a lot of it is research. Excuse me. Finally get.
It doesn't, I don't know.
It's just you.
I don't know.
Picking up the sound of your laptop.
It's on mute, like I don't have sound on any of it. That's for the projector.
Oh,
Why don't you can sit over here?
okay, we're adjusting.
Yeah, maybe I can sit here and you sit here and
Yeah.
see if that will stay off.
Well, you go there then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Technical difficulties, people.
All right. It doesn't like my orange shirt, I think. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, 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 hello.
You're almost there.
Hello, hello. I'm just gonna follow around the room. Tell me when it moves someplace else.
Okay.
Okay, so we're in it. So yeah, that was her question about, oh, God.
Even say it.
So where were we? Oh. I don't even know where that is. I'm just, how about if I just do laps? So this is the, it's me. I honestly feel like it's, this discriminatory. Okay,
Stay there with Jessica.
okay, so. Okay,
Oh, we just won't worry about it.
we won't worry about it. You guys just listen to my voice. You know what I look like. I'm an older guy and I do YouTube. And my big glasses are over here. By the way, this is the other cool thing about being a YouTube creator. Companies send you free stuff all the time.
Oh, nice.
All the time. Still waiting for that. I got an Apple computer. That was cool. I'm still waiting for them to send me a phone. They don't send you phones. Nobody does. I gotta buy these. I know Casey Neistat gets phones, but anyway. So now I'm totally lost. Where was I? I was out of my groove.
When you travel footage,
Oh, when I travel, for my niche, I have to have a lot of footage, so I have to go to services to get a lot of my footage. I also was really smart. I bought like 9 GoPros. I have friends that are like truck drivers, and I give them GoPros, and they send me footage all the time. So that's another way I got around it. So, and I had to pay for those GoPros. Nobody gave me those. That was a bummer. But yeah.
you can write them off though, right?
I do.
Isn't that
I am a
like
corporation.
business expense. Yeah, so do you want to talk about like that?
I'm about to get into that. I'm about to get into the next part. So I turn out 3 videos a week. And if I was just doing this myself, there's no way I'd turn out 3 videos a week. My videos aren't the most complex videos, but they're time consuming with research and stuff like that. I have a research girl. I have an editor. Which is my son, my oldest son. And then I have, for the time being, my youngest son does all my graphics. And then I have an office girl named Suki who answers all my emails. And I get about 1,000 emails a day. That's pretty ugly. I used to try and answer them. Then I gave up. I'm like, I need to hire someone. So in comes Suki. And I like her because she is about this tall. She's the nicest thing in the world, but she is very businesslike. And when people try and talk to her, she'll, no, we're not doing that. And then she'll even send people, don't email us again. Jesus, you're kind of rough. So they don't know I'm this small. Okay, that makes sense to me. But so we've got all these people that help me make these videos. And one of the biggest things is my researcher, Ellie. She basically takes what I've done and she goes over it to make sure I'm not insane. And that's important because sometimes I've thrown stats out of my mouth and they're completely wrong. And I thought it was right. I thought I read it, but that's the other thing. A lot of people read their scripts. I don't. I have bullet points and I just start talking. Kind of like what I'm doing right here. I probably should have made more bullet points for today. I didn't know I was talking 2 hours. That was the problem. I thought, oh, I can fill up 45 minutes. This is easy. So yeah, I have a whole staff. I have in total 7 people. 3 of them are full-time, the rest are part-time. And a lot of times I'll have graphic artists. Right now I have some guy that's sending me thumbnails because my thumbnails suck apparently. That was his words. So I'm all, well, if you're gonna put it to me that way, you're hired. So yeah, that's how he got hired. He told me my things suck. So I got a guy making my thumbnails for me now. And it's a whole operation. Most people just think it's me. And it's definitely not. And as you get bigger, that's the cool thing about YouTube. You could start off with your phone only, right? Like I was telling you in your animation, you could go on Amazon right now and buy this little thing that holds your phone right here for you while you draw. And I think they're $20, and you could start a YouTube channel tomorrow. And I promise you, you would have people interested in it. Same with you and same with you. Just, it's easy to start, but you always want to try and get better. And that means I've hired people, I've got better equipment, things like that. One thing I will tell you, which not a lot of people realize, audio is better than video if you're making YouTube videos. People will put up with a poorly, not the best, it doesn't have to be 4K. It doesn't even have to be HD. But if your audio sucks, people will turn off your video in a heartbeat. Audio is way more important than video. Next question. Anyone? Come on. What's your name, by the way?
Lucas.
Lucas? Okay. Why'd you look at her when I asked your name? Should I tell him? This is weird. But yeah, like Lucas, you could easily start doing, like, if you want to get into 3D animation.
I already am.
You're already into it, right?
Yeah.
And have you started a YouTube channel? Has that
yeah.
You have? Good. What's it called? Do you have a channel name? Do you want to give that out? If you don't want to give it out, don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the beginning, we're usually a little nervous about giving out our YouTube channel because you're not sure if people are going to start mocking you, which is what I was worried about in the beginning. And yes, I have cruel friends and they mocked me when I first started my YouTube channel. So yeah, a lot of times.
I have a question, especially for like kids in high school and stuff, and like the social pressure of wanting to start a YouTube channel or wanting to start, social media or TikTok. How do you kind of navigate getting over that social pressure of like, oh, I really, really want to do this, but, I know people are going to make fun of me. I know my friends are going to, make fun of me. How do you kind of keep going and, get over that social pressure of it?
So, for me, it's a little bit different. Like I said, I was in the Army, and when I was 19 years old, a drill sergeant screaming it, and I won't use the exact language he gave us, but he said something to me at 19 years old that stuck with me the rest of my life. And it was basically, I'll give the flowery language he used, if you don't live under my roof, I don't care what you think about me. Really, you don't matter. I only concerned with who lives in my house. Hate me, dislike me, whatever. In the grand scheme of things, you don't matter. For some reason, when I was 19 years old, and I used to worry about how my hair looked and all that stuff, it just hit me for some reason. And I was like, it totally makes sense. And for that carried me throughout the rest of my life. I've been a stand-up comedian. I've done all kinds of different things. And I honestly think it's because of what he said that day. And I don't know, I was scared, upset because I was in basic training. I was in a vulnerable state where it just broke through my brain, but it stuck with me my whole life. So for me, it doesn't matter. You guys are nice. You all seem nice and stuff like that. But if you think I did a horrible job up here today, okay, I'm fine. I'll be okay. It's just, I don't think, in my opinion, and I think especially high school kids, and my experience with high school was a long time ago. And as I look back on it, I realized there was a lot of insecure kids, and it was because of the people around them. And I think the environment that a lot of us grow up in makes us insecure about who we are and what we do and things like that. And in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. You just have to be yourself. Embarrass yourself. Nobody in this room has ever escaped humiliating themselves someplace. At some point in your life, you have fallen down in mud while you're wearing the best dress you've ever had. Something like that has happened to all of us, right? That no one's immune from that. So, it's just weird. I just think that a lot of people's lives get ruined to a certain degree because of peer pressures and worrying about what people think about them, what people say about them, what people, what they think people are saying about them. In reality, nobody's perfect. None of us. I was in a porta potty one time, and my friends flew open the door to concert one time. Yeah, that was humiliating, but it was hysterical. So yeah, we've all been through something like that. It was a pretty good concert too. I felt like everyone pointing at me about halfway through. I'm like, they don't matter. But yeah, so it's rough, especially when you want to do something like TikTok or YouTube. You don't want to tell people because you're afraid they're going to judge them. Don't worry about them. You'll have a few friends in your life that'll stick with you after high school. The kids are going to high school right now. It doesn't matter what they think about you. It doesn't matter what anyone thinks about you. You're your own person, and it's really just your family and the people you care about. That's the only people that matter. Then some of them, but yeah. Anyway, so to me, I'm immune from that, and that's just because I got lucky and some drill sergeant yelled something at me one time. So yeah, but I used to be just like that. I used to worry how I looked, if I was wearing the right clothes and stuff like that, and yeah. Any other questions from you? I know you want to ask me something. Here we go again. Go, let's have it.
So I know you said that like you have your own editor and stuff, but like I'm gonna guess and say when you first started, it was just you running it.
It was me in a garage in Aloha.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when it comes to like editing videos, do you have like any tips on how to do it as like a first starting?
So so there's about 20 different editing softwares out there. Softwares doesn't sound right, but anyway, there's 20, 30 different decent software options for you to edit. My suggestion is find the easiest and cheapest one to start off. They all follow the same type of pattern. Okay, you're looking at it, and it's almost like little puzzle pieces, and you're adjusting them. You're cutting those puzzle pieces down a little bit. They all do the same thing. Once you've learned one, the other one's just a couple different clicks away, and you learn something about that one. So use the easiest one and the cheapest one. Right now, that is CapCut, and I really like Filmora, which a lot of people look at Filmora and they're so basic. It's easy and it's fun, and that's why I like Filmora. And they don't charge you month after month to use it. A lot of the big ones like Premiere Pro, they want to charge you every single month to use their software. I hate that. I want to own the software. I don't want to rent it from you. And then I'm enslaved to you so I can keep my company going, So that's my suggestion. Find something that's cheap and find something that's easy to use in the beginning. If you get to a point where you want to get better, maybe upgrade to Premiere Pro. But if you're using any one of the other softwares, you've got a pretty good base to use any of the softwares. But have you ever edited video?
No, just because like I tried like searching things up on YouTube, but I got like so many different answers, and I didn't really understand what any of it meant. And I was young or younger, I guess.
Well, no, you're young right now.
Yeah.
Because from experience, you're young. But yeah, my suggestion to you is go look at CapCut. I think it's free. You can try it out for free. And there's a lot on there that's free. They just put the little watermark in the bottom. And if you're not putting anything up online, use it until you know it. You can get Filmora, which is a one-time payment. I think it's like $40 or something like that. And then of course they have, you could buy assets, little stickers and things like that. But just get one of those, start out with it. The cool thing I like about Filmora, they have their own dedicated YouTube channel. And it's pretty easy to follow along with them. But yeah, I would try one of the easier ones in the beginning, Filmora, CapCut, and go from there. And watch a lot of videos, and you'll learn how to do it. And then someday when you get used to it, give me a call. Maybe, email me. Maybe we'll need you. You never know.
What was the timeline of when you went from doing it all yourself to then realizing I needed
help?
Help you.
So I was consistent in late 2016. And I probably did it for about a little over a year. No, probably almost a year and a half. And then I'd gotten up to doing twice a week, I think. And there wasn't much to the videos. And I was just glued in my garage at the time. And a road behind me, and when I'm recording, I'd hear a car coming, and I have to wait and then record again because I had some insulation in there, but you could hear everything. And then fire trucks. Oh my God, fire trucks all the time. But then my son got out of the room, and he didn't have a job, but I'm going to teach how to edit, and you could be my editor. And so I kind of showed him, and he's a pretty sharp kid, so he picked it up, and he got pretty good. Sometimes he gets to the point where he thinks he knows enough, and he doesn't progress. So I got to go in and give him a speech, and then he learns more stuff, and he gets better. So he's one of those kids you got to give him a little nudge every now and then to keep him going. But yeah, so then it was probably around 2018 when he got out that it was me and him then. And then my daughter, she was going to nursing school, and I had her doing a lot of the emails and stuff like that. So it was just family operation from 2018 to late 2019. Then I started hiring other people. So yeah. Let me see, what else am I gonna say?
So in there and turning it into an actual business.
Yes, it's actual business. I have a accountant. I actually have a lawyer that takes care of all my copyright stuff. So yeah, in the span of 2016 to right now, which that's 8 years, I didn't realize it. I've gone from me alone with a $40 mic and my phone. Actually, I got a webcam, and I thought, okay, I'm upgrading. I'm getting a webcam. Got the webcam, realized my phone's better than this webcam. What was I thinking? So that kind of sucked. But I had no money. I had money, but I had a bunch of bills, and I was just trying to piece it together. And then I kind of realized that you don't need a bunch of equipment. When you make the money, yeah, get better equipment, but you don't have to buy anything to start YouTube. That's the incredible thing, because I think most of us have a phone in our pocket right now, right? It's all you need. That is all you need. My wife she decorates cookies on her channel. She just does shorts. She only uses her phone, and her videos look great. I really wish she'd actually get into it more. I mean, she's got a whole room in her house. I have a 7-bedroom house. Sounds better than it is. It used to be owned by a church. And we were at the point where we were about to rent out an office, or I was going to buy this little building in Aloha and just run out of there. And then I saw this house in 7 bedrooms. I'm like, 7 bedrooms? And it's in Beaverton. I went over and looked at it. The church owned it, so it was a typical house. And then they built this long hallway it looks like a hotel hallway. So my house looks like a normal house. And it sounds really cool that I got 7 bedrooms. But really, it's just this normal house in Beaverton with this really funky, it's like a wing. Someone attached a wing to the back of my house that goes out to our pond. So yeah, that's so now we use that. My wife has her own cookie room. I have a recording room that is soundproof now. We have an editing room, and my youngest son does his graphics in his room on his computer. Wow. So yeah, it's built over time. Something else I was going to tell you about that one. Oh, so my wife's cookie channel, she makes these cookies, and she's growing and growing and growing. And she sometimes gets discouraged too, but as soon as she has a good video, she's right back on board. And then, it's weird like that. If you ever decide you need help with YouTube or anything like that, there's a lot of people, including myself. If you email one of us, we'll email you back and tell you, things to do. I've helped 8 people start YouTube channels, not counting my wife. 8 people start YouTube channels. Every single person that listened to what I told them to do is now making money, which is 2 of them. Everyone else tried it for about 3 months, and since they didn't see a paycheck or something, they quit doing it. One of my friends, he's about ready. I think he's getting close to quitting Nike, and he works at the headquarters. He's a product development guy. He makes good money, but this is what he does. He goes out and fishes, and is that right? He goes fishing, and he puts a crab pot with a GoPro in there. And the crabs get in there, and he just posts that online. And people will watch this for hours. And that's all he's doing. He's got a GoPro and a crab pot.
Wow.
Yeah. And people love it. I mean, it's the weirdest thing. What kind of time I got?
You're almost at an hour. So
I'm almost an hour.
15 minutes.
So I got an hour and 15 minutes to go? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Whew, it's gonna be rough. So there's a lot of different things you could do. If you ever need help, a lot of YouTubers, as long as you're not asking some guy that's got 40 million subscribers, he'll never get back to you because he's probably getting 20,000 emails a day. If you find someone that has 50,000, 100,000 subscribers, they'll probably get back to you and give you some advice. And if you guys, you go to any one of my videos, World According Briggs is my channel, World 2 Briggs. Email me if you have any questions. Either I or Suki will get back to you with an answer. If you get a question from Suki, it's coming from me, so she'll just send it out for me. She comes into my room and asks me questions that people emailed her. I tell her, and she goes away, and I don't know what she does with them after that, but she has the answer. So yeah. Any other questions?
So you were saying, when we were talking before we started recording, that you have multiple channels.
Mm-hmm.
And so in there, like, how do those have the same where you post 3 videos a week?
No.
Or what does that look like as you've expanded your content and grown more?
So yeah, okay. So I had World According Briggs start off, right? And that became my moneymaker. Well, channels normally plateau after a time. You know, you've just been doing the same thing for so long. You'll be gaining new subscribers, but a lot of your old ones from your big push in the beginning have kind of faded away and they've moved on to other things. That's just the natural progression of any YouTube channel. Tana Mojo was the biggest one a couple of years ago and nobody really knows who she is anymore. Oh, do you like her? I'm sorry.
I've been watching her since she started.
Yeah.
But that was back in like when 2016, 2017.
Exactly. And you used to hear about her all the time. Do you hear about her much anymore?
Yeah, I still follow her.
Because you follow her. Because you follow her. I haven't heard from her in forever.
She doesn't post on YouTube anymore.
Yeah, see?
Like she hasn't.
It's probably because she started plateauing.
Yeah.
And she's like, what's the point? So you'll plateau, and that's what I've always watched. I've always watched other YouTube channels, they plateau. There's very few that just keep going. Philip DeFranco is one of the only ones I know that's been going on for like 12 years, and he's still gaining. And he's never really gone viral, and that helps. People that go viral will usually burn out really soon. So if you're consistent in it for the long game, you can keep going. But so I was worried about that, so I started another channel called On This Day, where I kind of focus on schools and classrooms. So if any of you guys want to look at it, when I'm back from this trip, we'll be back at it. And I go over, and it's very kid-friendly and school-friendly. Nothing weird is said on there. We just talk about things that happen throughout history. So it starts off with, this is the date, this is the things that happened on this date, and then we do a deep dive on a subject. I think the last one we did a deep dive on was the Brooklyn Bridge, which was very interesting. So that one's done for schools. That one is not a big money maker, but I like it, and I get sponsored videos. I get sponsored offers for it. I haven't done any for it yet. So that's another thing. We'll talk about sponsored videos in a second. So I did that one. I have a political one that I don't tell anyone is me because I don't like to mesh those two worlds. Myself, I really don't care about politics, but I get on there and I say things to invoke an emotion from people. And that's the whole point of that one. I say things and I go back and forth because I've learned if I say something that is in favor of liberal views, and then the next thing I say is something in favor of conservative views, people lose their mind and they comment. And that's something to keep in mind. Comments and interactions with your video are like gold. If the YouTube algorithm sees that people are giving you likes or dislikes are the same thing to the YouTube algorithm, or they comment or share, they realize people are watching your videos, so they just start pushing it out to more people. So that's why sometimes on my normal, okay, so here's a trick on World According Briggs I learned a long time ago because I misspelled the word political. My editing software didn't have spell check, and I'm so used to it, I just type it away. I misspelled political. People lost their mind, right? And then I realized there's just certain people on this planet that they need to find that mistake, and they need to throw it in your face as best they can. And like I told you earlier, I don't care. Throw it in my face. If you throw it in my face, that means you left a comment. You probably shared it with your friends to let them know what a idiot I am. And that just helped my channel. I'm fine with it. So
controversy isn't always bad.
Controversy is always good. There's a comedian one day, he's on YouTube, I forget his name, and he said, car accidents are always popular on YouTube. And it's because If it's negative, more people will watch it. An example, if I do a video, top 10 reasons not to move someplace, let's say I get 200,000 views the first week. If I did top 10 reasons to move to that place, I will be lucky if I see 60,000 views. Negative always goes on YouTube, but on TikTok, everything. But here's the thing, if you want sponsored videos, you do positive things, because sponsors don't want to sponsor a video that's about the murder capitals of the world, you know. But if I'm telling everyone that it's time to move to Tennessee because their tax thing is this, and it's really low and the houses are cheap, everyone wants to sponsor that video. So it's a balance game. But so like I have the On This Day channel, which I'm very upfront, I own that one, the political one, which I don't tell anyone. And then I have another one called the Sweet Life for Briggs, which the Sweet Life for Briggs is just starting. This trip I'm going on is part of it because I'm staying at resorts and on a very expensive cruise ship. The whole premise of it is I started watching cruise videos about cruise ships. And I noticed every single channel out there about it is talking about the cheapest way to cruise. And I thought, there's this whole other world of cruising where there's key card parts. Did you know, you guys probably don't know much about cruise ships, but there's key card areas for cruise ships where they have butlers, private bars, and stuff like that. So I'm paying for these and I'm going to make videos about it. And I'm hoping to get more sponsored videos through these, because all the other channels are just talking about the cheapest way to go. Cruise ships don't want to sell the cheapest way to go. They want to sell it to people that have money. So that's my strategy for that one. So you have to think ahead, and I'm thinking this is a good one. When I come back next year, I'll let you know if it's a failure, because I pretty much told everyone I'm doing this for a year or maybe 2 and see how it goes, because it's going to cost me a bunch of money.
So the strategy is you pay for this cruise and then it's out there, and then hopefully.
Yeah, I figure I'll do 2 or 3.
One of the lines will be like, hey, come
exactly.
Talk about ours.
That's what I'm hoping for. And then, you know, cruise insurance companies will sponsor you if you're doing this, and just different companies will sponsor you. And there's a lot of money in sponsored videos. I usually don't do them because, like I told you earlier, I have a high CPM. I get paid a lot for 1,000 views on my main channel. But a lot of YouTubers like Tana Mojo, she makes her money on sponsored videos. And there's a young lady named Alyssa Vanilla. She's van life girl. She lives in her van. Yeah. I just talked to her last night. I did a podcast with her last night. She did a video about a cooler that is also a battery backup for, you know, so you can plug your phone in or whatever. It was a 1-minute video. She talked about it, and she's in the middle of the desert, and she walks by it like this. I was like, okay, the way she did it was funny. It's like out of nowhere, she comes walking by this thing like van and white. So it was pretty funny. They paid her over $5,000 for that.
Wow.
Yeah, I know it's probably not really cool to talk about money on here, and I'm not going to get into all the details, but that's the type of thing that is out there for you. She spent probably 2 hours per day making that video, or at least filming that, and then probably edited her whole video, her normal video, and put that in there. And not only did she get the money from YouTube for making for her normal video, but this company gave her a cooler and $5,000 just to talk about it for a minute. That's where a lot of people like Tana Mojo, Mr. Beast, all of them make a lot of their money from that, doing sponsored videos. I don't do them. I'm lucky enough that I'm getting ready to, because with all the people basically stealing my ideas, you can start seeing my revenue going down a little bit. So now I'm, okay, time to start doing sponsored videos. So again, you got to pivot. When you see where things are going, you got to adjust. You have a question? Yeah, come on out with it. I'm just kidding. She had that look on her face like, anyway. Do you have any questions, Jeff? Nothing. Lucas, come on. Okay. I'll be back to you in a minute. You have a question.
Is in terms of like making steady income, is it consistent monthly, or with YouTube, since it's really based off of like the views you're getting, following, you know, sponsor things like that, that it varies month to month?
It varies drastically month to month. Now, I usually live like, I know what my average month is going to be. And so I kind of adjusted it as time goes on. We'll tell you the number, but I'm all, okay, this is what I'm to expect. But then I go, okay, I had a really good month and it was almost double what I normally expect. But then I've had a couple months in the last 2 years where I've dropped below that. And you're all, oh, well, the algorithm hates me and this and that. And no, it's I put out videos that weren't interesting to people and I paid the price for it. And that price sometimes can be significant. And I want to cry sometimes, but that's okay. I get through it. I make another video and I'm happy again. That's the other thing. They have this thing on YouTube where they tell you how your last 10 videos did. They rank them, right? And if you get one, you put up a video and it's number 1, you have solved YouTube and you're a genius. That's what's going on in your head. But you get a number 9 or number 10 out of your last 10 and you sit in your room in depression. What went wrong? Why does the algorithm hate me? So you're a genius when it's a good video, but if it doesn't do good, obviously they're out to get you. That's just how it goes.
Do you map out your year of what you're doing?
No.
Leaving room for flexibility, right? But understanding.
I'm starting to right now, like this year, that was my thing, because like I said earlier, I have ADHD. My video that I'm going to do on Friday normally, this is what, Tuesday? I usually start planning it Wednesday. Now, luckily I have Ellie, who's my researcher. She comes up with ideas and she gets the stats for me. So I have a probably 50 of them that if I don't come up with an idea, I just go down hers and okay, I work that one out. So we're trying to get past that because everyone else is tired of dealing with my ADHD. So now I have a dry erase board in my hotel hallway and everyone gets to look by and this is what's coming up this week. And I have a really cool one, the national parks. Oh my God, I gotta do this one. I'm listing all the national parks. You know, we have like 63 of them. I have no idea. But I got a lot of really good footage of them. And it's almost like a travel thing. Not much talking, just nice music and nice relaxing. And that's another thing. There's people out there that play the sound of rain for 24 hours.
Yeah.
And people watch it. I listen to it going to sleep. Those guys make a ton of money. And all they're doing is putting a graphic, putting an animation. I know the animation of rain falling over any picture. And then they play this sound and people like me put it in our ears and go to sleep. It's a crazy world, I'm telling you. I don't care what you want to make on YouTube. Like I said earlier, you will find an audience. I mean, you can do it on your earrings, you know, your earring collection. My wife makes videos. She has too many cookie cutters. I mean, too many. It's like ridiculous at this point. I said, start showing your cookie cutters. She did. Tons of people watched it. More than her making cookie videos. They'll watch anything. I mean, they watched Tana Mojo for how long? Sorry.
7, 8 years ago. I think that's Tana Comcast.
You know who I talk to all the time? Shelby Church in Monica Church. Yeah, they're about the same time they came out with them. But they're old school YouTubers, and I'm they're probably my age. No, they're like 28. They've been doing it since they were 15.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. They're twins. One of them, greatest video, she was showing how to use some kind of curling iron on her bangs, and she was holding it, talking it, and her chunk of hair came off. It burst it right off. That was like 15 years ago.
That.
Yeah, that was hysterical. But she's down there, so oh. I think the best video I saw of any of those makeup type girls was Southern California had had an earthquake, and this girl was doing a makeup tutorial. And her whole house started shaking, and she's like this, and you realize her lipstick is up here now and around her chin. I was like, and she posted that. See, we've all had that moment where you're just humiliated. And I mean, who hasn't gone out with lipstick all over their forehead? Never. It's like my wife's best friend. I hate makeup. I'm never wearing it again. She goes, maybe when I'm 60, I'll change my mind. But right now, I'm never wearing makeup again. It's like, okay.
So are your videos also like, have you pivoted to TikTok and Instagram and?
So I've always done Instagram. I've done Instagram, but I've started doing TikTok again. As I started, the main channel started to kind of plateau and people ripped me off. I started using it to basically move more people over to there. So I put a link. This is my YouTube channel. If you want to see more of this video, go over there type thing. And I've seen some progress with that. I also started doing that when I realized that there was about 20 people on TikTok just basically lifting my videos. shrinking them down to vertical view and putting them up on there, and they're making money off my videos.
Hmm.
So I've had to have TikTok shut about 15 of them down. And that's why I have a lawyer to do that. And so I get those people shut down. I'm like, well, I'm shutting them down. I should be getting some of this money. So I start uploading some of my video on there. So yeah, I never used to. I didn't like TikTok because they really don't pay that much. You can get sponsored videos, great.
Oh, it's the sponsored videos of all the influencers. They're getting paid anywhere from $5,000 to $100,000.
Oh yeah, those big ones.
30-second video.
Yeah, it's insane. But that's I like the fact that YouTube sends me a check every month. You know, that's kind of my bread and butter. I don't have to worry about sponsors, but now I'm starting to. It's again, you got to pivot.
So as you do the different cities that you highlight for that video, do you have where they're reaching out to you, like the Visitors Bureau is reaching out and saying, hey, we want you to highlight Missoula, Montana?
Yeah, I had a couple cities do that, and I've had a couple small towns ask me to come out and film videos there. But they always seem to want to have a laundry list of things they want me to do, and I've done 3 of them out of probably 15, and that's because they're all just come out and make us look cool. And they said, do what you want to do. The other ones are all, well, we have a press person that's going to follow you and show you what to film. I'm like, no, make your own video if that's how you want to do it. If you want me to make a video, this is how I do it. That's a bummer about a lot of companies like that, a lot of cities, and they have these media professionals. They think they have to make the best video. That's not YouTube. If you start showing these, there's some people that's kind of their thing to make the best videos. They're cinematographers. They're putting things on YouTube. You expect it from them. But the average YouTube channel, if you start showing things that are too polished, people will tune out. So all of a sudden I start showing these dramatic videos of, sweeping things, and, I have a spokesperson on there. My people will just start clicking off that video and move on to something else. So that's another thing you have to keep in mind about YouTube. It's not a polished thing. Perfection is not popular on YouTube. That's a fact. But yeah, I've had quite a few of those. I've had a couple companies that make like tiny homes and stuff. They want me to come out and look at their warehouse and do things like that. And I have a developer that's been after me for like a year, and I want to make it out there. But Indiana, it's one of these companies that builds like tract homes of like 200 homes. They want me to come out and film some of them, and I'm like, I don't know what to say about that. I don't, maybe I will, but I don't know how I'm going to sell that to people in a video. If I come up with something, I'll call you. They call me every once in a while. Hey, did you think of anything yet? Well, no, I haven't given them much thought since I talked to you last. But yeah.
So on the sponsored videos, do you look at, with your experience, not just maybe your own channel, but knowing the world of YouTubers, that you pitch a company or the companies come and find you? Like, what's that look like?
So there's a couple different ways. One, you could reach out to them, and sometimes they'll get back to people. If you're in my situation, I have over 1 million subscribers and stuff. They contact me every day. I easily get 20 sponsored videos that are decent a week, and I've always blown them off. I get about another 80 that are just lame, and I'd never do. I have one company that wants me to sell fabric. Like, how does that match anything I'm doing? I'm going to sell silk fabric. How's that going to work? They always email me. But so yeah, in my situation, they'll come to me. Alyssa Vanilla, we were just talking about her earlier. She has a company that brings her things all the time. They're all, hey, do you like that one with the cooler? They're all, hey, this cooler company wants to give you this. Do you want to do it? She's like, yeah, send me the cooler. So and then they take, let's say they paid $6,000. They took 1,000, gave her 5. Like that. So that's how it works with that. So yeah, it's a whole industry. It's a whole industry.
Do you go to the big national conferences, conventions?
I went to one, I went to one a couple years ago, and that was that. Then I went to one Vid Summit in October this year, and I won't be going back again because if I talk, people realize who I am, and then they come up and start talking to me, and then I don't have the ADHD thing. I don't want to sit there and talk to them individually. I'll get up in front of a room and talk all day, but if I got to sit down and talk to you about things, I start getting anxious and I need to leave. So now that I'm getting bigger and people recognize me and my voice, it's becoming less of an interest for me. So I don't think I'll be going back to that.
Is there benefit for those who are starting out in building a career? to
Absolutely,
participate in that?
100%. If that's something you want to do, there's
What are the benefits?
what's the one everyone goes?
VidCon.
VidCon is for, VidCon is not for creators. VidCon is for the consumer, the viewers. Vid Summit is for creators. No fans are allowed to go there. Only other creators are allowed to go there. And they have talks. I went there specifically because I am ultra paranoid of having my account hijacked. So I went there specifically because there's a guy that talks about how to keep your account safe. And so I went and listened to him. I watched a bunch of other ones, but he was the main reason I went to do that. But then it's just weird. I get uncomfortable when people. I went on a cruise, and it was a vlogger's cruise. I just wanted to see it. I'm not a cruise vlogger, and people knew who I was. And I was there, and I got mobbed like 3 different times, and I was like, I don't like this at all. So I stayed in my room most of the cruise. It was weird. It was uncomfortable. You know. Sorry, I used to have a teacher that you do that all the time when someone would look like they were tuning out. I'd be like, you know what I'm talking about, right? You explain it to them, and then we'd be all, I was sleeping. Yeah.
So you touched on about keeping your channel safe. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, what are the things to look out for and the challenges?
So there's
What's that?
there's a thing where they basically hijack your account. And then since you have so many viewers, they'll basically demand Bitcoin to get your account back to them, or they start deleting stuff for some reason. Maybe they're just some kind of weird hacker troll person that just wants to create chaos. If they start deleting my stuff, 2 years ago, it was the end of your channel. Because if you were to get into my channel and just start deleting things, that stuff's gone forever. I would have to re-upload, and that would cost me thousands and thousands of dollars, because my videos that I made 2 years ago still make me money to this day, right? And now all of a sudden they're pulled out of the algorithm. I got to put it back in. They're not going to have that same momentum. So if you take a bunch of my videos and just delete them, I am in bad shape for probably a year. You'll set me back a year. Could you imagine going into work tomorrow and they tell you you're only going to get $1,000 this year, okay? And then next year maybe we'll make it up to you. That's how it is. That's literally what it was. You would be, I'm finding a new job. So you worry about that all the time, and they can hack it from several different ways. One of them is they'll send you, they'll act like they're a sponsor. And they're, well, watch this video. This is what we want it to look like. And if you're not careful, you click on that video. Next thing you know, you've lost control of your account. Yeah. Now, I have a thing that if I try to log into my own account, which I know the password and everything, on that computer right there, I can't get into it. I have a key in the thumb drive of my main computer, and it's like a USB key. And if that is not in any computer I try and get on, I can't get into my own account. Now, there are ways to get around that, and I'm sure some hackers will figure it out, but most of the time they have to know what kind of key I have. There's probably about 100 out there, and they have to know my password, and they probably have to hack my phone too to get into my account, but it's still a big worry I have. Luckily, recently YouTube has a hotline. If you're over a certain amount of subscribers, you can call them and go, I'm being hacked, and they'll shut your channel down. Nobody can delete anything. Nobody can do anything to your channel. It just gets frozen until they figure it all out. But in my situation, I would lose a week of pay basically just by doing that. And then I'm sure there'd be damage in the long run on my channel anyway. So that's why I went to see that. That is a paranoia thing of me. I have employees I got to pay for. I have a house. It's not a good thing. I have an orange car I have to pay for out there. It's bright orange. I have this thing for orange. Don't get all hooked up on orange. It's really bad. Next thing you know, you're buying hats. It's nightmare. But yeah, so that's why I went to Vid Summit to watch that. But I learned a lot of other things. I watched this guy, Patty Galloway, this kid is amazing. He, about 4 years ago, just started studying YouTube. And now he's like this expert on it. And so I watched him. He's only been doing it 4 years. He knew way more than I did about it. But that's all he focused on. He makes videos every single week about how to, manipulate the algorithm, things like that. So yeah, I went to see there to get the knowledge, and that's the one you want to go to. If you ever get to a point where you want to learn about YouTube, go to Vid Summit. They have it in LA, and then sometimes they have it in Texas. but that's just one of those things. Well, last year I almost gave away a bunch of tickets to it, to some of the people that follow me.
Have you ever done a giveaway on your channel?
I have. I do a thing on my live streams. Well, I've done giveaways in the past, but every couple weeks I'll do this game on my live streams on Saturday nights where I show a picture of something in the United States, a place, a location, could be a pier, could be a building, could be, a skyline someplace. I've had different themes every month, and still feel like I should be there. But
someone just asked if you can turn it to face you.
yeah, we've been trying for a while. This is what I look like.
There you are.
Anyway, so
Go ahead and stay standing.
It's staying for the moment.
okay, so
Oh, nope.
every time. It has this thing about me. I think it's the chip in my head. No, just kidding. I don't have a chip in my head. At least that's what the government told me. Just kidding.
You were in the military.
Yeah, I was in the military. No joke, I have a cousin who thinks there's a chip in her head. Yeah, she does. But she's been paranoid about Bigfoot and everything for years, so who knows. But I lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? Giveaways. So I play this game, and then I basically put up a picture in my live stream, and the first person to tell where it is and what it is, as soon as you get a certain amount of points, we have like 15 of them we go through, and whoever got the most, I'd give them a $100 gift card to Amazon. I just emailed to them. So that's been kind of fun. I did it right up to the holidays, then I quit doing it. I got to do it again. I was getting a lot of people really enjoyed it, and that's what live streams are for. You do live streams to get your community stronger, so you don't make any money off
I was gonna say, do you make money off of the
A little
live
bit.
streams?
A little bit.
Do you live stream on YouTube or Instagram?
YouTube.
Or both? YouTube?
YouTube, yeah. I still on YouTube. Instagram doesn't pay you, so I don't bother. I'm sure there's some benefit to doing it if they were to, now come find me that way, but I just don't. Right now I'm at 1 million subscribers. That's all I ever want to get to. And more subscribers really doesn't mean anything. It's more views, and that's what means things now.
So how often do you live stream?
I like to do it every Saturday, but usually it ends up I do it maybe twice a week or twice a month. And it's cool. It's people, they feel like they know me because they listen to me all the time. So that's a good time to interact with them, and they makes your community stronger. And you got to have a good community on YouTube. That's the bummer about TikTok. Do you know anyone that makes videos on TikTok that you watch? No, you just scroll by it. You watch the video. You don't know who it is. Maybe if it's a huge one like Charlie D'Amelio or something like that, you know who it is. But most of the time, I probably watch 60 TikTok videos this week. Probably way more than that. But let's say I watch 60. I don't know who any of those people were. But if I watch a YouTube video, I know exactly who it is. And if I like the video, I find out who it is. On TikTok, you just don't build a community. And I think that's the biggest problem. You only know who the biggest people on TikTok are. Nobody knows any of the smaller ones. And so, yeah, I think that's their flaw. YouTube, you're at least building a community. It's more of a social network than just a thing to waste your time.
So when you do your live stream, do you have somebody who's like navigating the comment section so that you're not having to?
I should, but I don't. I just kind of answer whatever I want. And I tell people at the beginning, I do this by myself, so I'm going to miss some of your questions. Because I get like 400 people in a live stream. And I'm going to miss some of your questions. I do apologize in advance. I do this by myself, but I still get someone angry. I guess you only answer questions if it's, about this, or you don't, whatever. So some people get angry if I don't answer their questions. Do you have any questions? No? I had a lady not too long ago. She'll have a question for you. Do you help people move? I do. You need advice? She goes, what can I help you with? She goes, I need $1,500. No, I'll give you advice. I'm not giving you cash. And she's all, well, why'd you say you'd help? I'm all, I thought you wanted advice on where to move. She was mad. She got very angry. I would give her $1,500.
She wanted the down payment for her house.
Yeah. I used to work at Netflix. I had a lady call. I took escalations in the middle of the night, not too far from here, actually. And I had a lady one time call. We used to have a free trial, and she didn't use the free trial. She just liked the cash instead. And she called all night long saying that, well, we gave her a gift, and she's not going to use the gift. She just liked the cash. What's so hard to understand about that? I'm all, well, It's not, we understand that, we just don't understand how you got to this point in your life. That's the biggest problem. Yeah, so, but yeah, you get people, no matter what you're dealing with, you're gonna have some strange people, whether it's YouTube, whether it's working at Netflix or someplace else. Yeah.
Do you go in with like a content calendar of what you're a couple days ahead, know what you're gonna be talking about, or is it just you go on and
On
it's-
YouTube now, on my live streams, I just get on there and start talking. Oh, I thought you had a question. You're scratching your beard? Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Tell me more about this live streaming. Actually, you know, what's funny is you follow the people, like I said, follow the audience. I have ADHD. I should really start talking about that. That's the biggest. Everyone's admitting they have ADHD now on YouTube. Maybe I need to make a video like that, but I think it's pretty clear I have ADHD to anyone that talks to me long enough. So yeah, you don't get into an industry like this without having a little ADHD.
Mhm.
I'm telling you. I have me become an accountant. That would be a nightmare. It would be horrible, horrible. Do you have any other questions?
Yeah. What about podcasts and doing podcasts, going on podcasts now that that world is kind of transitioning into the next YouTube almost?
Yeah.
Like, so many people are jumping into that realm.
Yeah, I think honestly, this theory I have, podcasts are the next big thing. I've actually started podcasting in Alyssa Vanilla. We were doing podcasts yesterday. I think TikTok and people realizing that they spend so many time doing this and they're doing nothing else, I think that has helped raising the popularity of podcasts, because now people can do things while they're listening or while they're being entertained. My nose is about to rule. Sorry, good thing they can't see me. It's that time of year and sinuses and stuff. But I didn't mean to do this.
Sometimes he's not.
Sorry, I'm a human being. Keep that in mind. Oh, perfect. You don't have to. Not bloody nose. Okay. Thank you. So podcasts, I think, are the future of all this stuff. So YouTube and all that will stay there. YouTube will stay. I don't think TikTok's going to stay another 5 years. I think it's going to fizzle out, just the nature of the business. It's super popular right now. It's almost, I would say, in the business sense, it's gone viral. So it's going viral and that'll fizzle out. YouTube and podcasts will be around a lot longer. And I think Instagram will be around a very long time too. I mean, Facebook is not nearly as popular as it once was, but I think it was here, and now I just think it's now the normal. You know, it's almost like cable. Everyone needed to have cable years ago, and then it's just we all have cable, and now it's fading out. But I think that's where Facebook is. It's in this plateau area right now. So,
Do you think TikTok's gonna go that same trend?
I think TikTok will fade away for a couple reasons. There'll be too many competitors. You know, YouTube's getting into it right now with shorts. They do reels on Instagram. It's too easy to replicate, in my opinion. And eventually they'll just be one of them, and then they'll just kind of fade away, I think. And it's just the nature of it. It's too, I don't know, kind of reminds me of eating at 7-Eleven versus a nice restaurant. That's kind of, you know, it's not, you're not getting quality stuff there, but it is entertaining and it does suit your need, just like eating at 7-Eleven does, or Plaid Pantry, whatever you have up here. But yeah.
So with that in the podcasts, is that something that you're looking at doing your own channel, having your own channel of, or how do you connect with what you did like with the woman from Van Life to be on there? Do they approach you or you approach them and say, hey, let's do something?
I have people approach me weekly, wanting to collaborate with me and stuff like that, and only because of where I am. And yeah, I mean, 4 years ago, nobody emailed me anything. But now I'm over 1 million subscribers. I get tons of views. People know who I am. So I get offers all the time. Alyssa left a comment, like the one I did the podcast with. She's got like 60,000 subscribers. So she's working her way up there. But she left a comment, and then we started talking back and forth. And I guess we kind of became online friendly. And then we talk all the time now. So, and then we did a podcast together. But, it just, sometimes it just happens. Just like you meet people all the time, sometimes they kind of become your friends. Same thing on YouTube. I talk to people all the time and occasionally some of them stick.
And does that follow the same way that you make money is by the people who tune into it?
Yeah, tune into it. Now, the cool thing about having collaborations with other YouTubers, now their audience becomes aware of me. So if I'm on her channel and she's on my channel, so obviously she's going to benefit a lot more from being on my channel, but I still get some of hers, you know? So that's why people collaborate on YouTube and TikTok and all that other stuff. It's like you watch Jake Paul and Mr. Beast do something together. The reality is, my understanding is those two can't stand each other, but you see them smiling and doing videos together all the time because they both have like 30 million subscribers and they like to get to 60 million subscribers. So they do that. That's just rumor. I don't know if they do hate each other. They're totally two different people. So I could totally see that. Mr. Beast's a perfect example of how easy it is to start YouTube. He started with a phone that was broken when he was 15. Told his mom he was going to college and he wasn't. He was in his car making videos in a parking lot, not too far from his house. Yeah. And now he's worth, last I heard, I think last year he made $200 and something million. Wow.
He has all his own brands, his chips, his
yeah, all that stuff. Just on
burgers,
YouTube, he made 200 million last year. And I've heard weird numbers, like he got close to $1 billion last year with all his other stuff.
Yeah. He has so many like brands he has now too.
And he just started, you know what his big breakthrough was? He counted to 1 million on a video. Do you know how long that takes? Took him like 48 hours almost. He counted to 1 million. That was one video he did. People are all, what is going on with this kid? He took off from there. Started doing weirder and weirder stuff. One of my favorite videos he ever did is he went to a company and they said, well, we're going to give you, I think they said like $9,000 to do this. He goes, make it 10 and I'll do it. And they're all, why? And he stuck on him. He goes, 10 sells better than 9,000. And that's all I told him. If I put $10,000, it's way better than 9,000. And they're all, well, what are you going to do with the money? He's like, I'm going to go outside and hand it to that homeless guy. And they're all, no, you're not. And they're in a building. He goes, no, watch me. And they're all, he goes, I need it in cash. He comes back like 3 days later. They gave him cash, $10,000. He walked across the street and gave it to a homeless man. And the video got like 12 million views. Yeah, so it paid for itself. That's like Super Bowl money for ads. So for $10,000, they got the viewing audience that people pay millions of dollars for in the Super Bowl. So yeah, that's all they're buying. They're buying eyeballs. How many eyeballs look at this? I mean, that's just like anything else, just like TV that we all grew up with. How many eyeballs can you get on this? And if you've got a more popular show, you're going to get more eyeballs. They're going to pay you more money. It's typical economics. Come on, you have a question? Come on. I know I'm going to get one more out of you today.
Do you have thoughts about wanting to start a YouTube channel?
Starting to think about it now, aren't you? Come on.
I mean, I guess so. I've just like grown up watching YouTube, and it's just been something like, oh, maybe if I do. There's like nothing like specific that I think I'd want to do because I've just done so much watching, and I never really have thought about like what I would do if I were to start a YouTube channel.
What do you do for fun?
I don't know. I've always thought about like maybe doing some sort of gaming, something or other, because I've always enjoyed just watching people like game and just talk, and I like Twitch streams sometimes because they're just talking and chilling around. Yeah. And sometimes it's beneficial and can be a real hit. Yeah. Depending on the people, I guess.
Yeah. It can. I mean, gaming's one that's it's pretty easy to start with, and it's one of those things you're probably going to do. Most gamers are going to be playing video games anyway. Mm-hmm. Why not throw a camera on it and see what happens? You know, that's my view of that one. I met a guy on a train. I decided to take Amtrak across the country twice. I don't know why, but I filmed it. And the guy, yeah. Well, the cool thing is you get these rooms on the Amtrak, and so they got a bed and all that. I'm not sitting there in coach or something, but my room attendant saw my equipment. He's all, what's all this equipment? I'm all, oh, I'm filming this for YouTube. He goes, I'm trying to make it big on Twitch. So I shouted him out on there, and he got a whole bunch more subscribers. I talked to him, this was 3 years ago he did it, so it took him about 3 years ago. Talked to him about 2 weeks ago, and he's getting ready to quit Amtrak and just do Twitch. Yeah, so it happens, and it's weird how sometimes you meet the right person that helps you, you know, or something like that. It's strange.
Do you have interest in starting a YouTube channel?
I'm already streaming on Twitch.
Okay.
I game and stream on Twitch.
See?
I actually don't use a camera because I use a 3D model.
Good thinking. That's very popular these days.
Yeah.
What does your 3D model look like? What is it?
Actually, the picture I'm drawing.
Really?
Yeah. It's awesome.
Can I come over and look at it?
Sure.
Oh, nice. It's like a cool Firefox. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I saw you starting it. That's pretty good.
Hey, look, I'm on the camera again.
Yeah.
It had you for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Put you in Discord.
How are the classrooms doing? Do they got any questions? This is my water, right? I
Yep.
open some
We put
water.
that up there for you. And then you said you already have a channel, right?
Yes,
So are you wanting to expand it, grow it?
mostly just do it as a hobby. I haven't really uploaded in a few months, and yeah, it's really just hard for me to get into the workflow. So I just mostly when I'm ready, I'll actually make something that'll go on my channel. In fact, like I said, I do animations. I have like a whole backlog of animations that are like fully finished. It's just I haven't uploaded yet. So yeah.
Yeah, it's just gotta get it up there and put it up there if you want. Yes.
Do you feel like well, I guess at the point you are now, since you're doing this like, full time, but do you feel like starting out, consistency is like the hardest part is getting into that like consistent, like uploading, filming?
You know, once you get into a rhythm,
Yeah.
it's easier, just like anything else. This is the biggest problem. In the beginning, I had a job and I had to get rid of all my other hobbies. And this became all I did besides family, work, YouTube. Instead of, I used to play hockey, I used to go hiking. So it became, work, family, eat, YouTube, instead of all the other things. And I knew that was what I was going to do. So I just did that for like I'd say a year. It was almost a year before I started getting paychecks. And then I was like, okay, this could be good. And it was about 6 months after that, I was like, okay, I'm making more here than I do at work. And I'm doing this less than part-time. Maybe there's a possibility. And then as months went on, I'm all, okay, it's pretty clear I need to quit working. So that's how it happened.
There is a question from Deetha who asked, do you know about the income range depending on how many views or subscribers?
Yes. It varies. It varies, Diva. So, like I said earlier, if you're a gamer, it's easier to get views, but those views aren't as valuable as let's say something that's talking about something that is a higher end product, I guess you could say, like travel. Travel is expensive, and mostly people that are a little bit older are traveling. People that are a little bit older have more money, so it's going to be you're going to get better ads. So this is how it breaks down. If you're a gamer, expect to get $1.50 per 1,000 views. If you're someone like me, I get about $24 per 1,000 views because of the thing. Now, I'm not even the best. If you're talking about finance, there's guys out there that are making $60 for 1,000 views. Now, they don't get that many views, but they're still getting like $60 for 1,000 views. That's usually breakdown. And it's a big vary. If anyone gets 120 or something like that, I heard one guy was getting like 120 because he was talking about financing homes. But he was barely getting any views, so it just varies. But it's going to be somewhere in there, but most people are somewhere around $5 to $10 per 1,000 views. I would say majority of the people are somewhere in there. And if you're someone like PewDiePie, there's a special category for him where they're hand-picking his ads that go on his videos, and he gets paid an ungodly amount. I don't even know what it is. I heard it's outrageous. So yeah, it varies. So, yeah, it depends on what you get into. My suggestion, if it's something you want to know about, write down the letters CPM and then look up high CPM niches on YouTube. And that's how you can find out what you should be talking about if your goal is to make money. And then, it's like I'm in real estate. And even though I'm really travel and cultural geography about the United States, they've labeled me real estate. And I think, that's another thing. Once I learned that real estate paid, I talk about how this is a great city to move. And everyone wants to know, if they're thinking about a city, they do want to know how much houses cost. So I always add that onto my video now. If you want to move here, the average home goes for about $340,000. And that's just a quick little blurb about each place. Not like I go into major detail on it, but I put it in there for them to know. And that's how I get into the real estate CPM. So,
Can you show one of your videos?
Yeah, I was about to ask, do you want,
huh?
do you want to play? I can project, you can pick.
Do you
Which
guys wanna
one do
see
you
one
want?
of his videos?
Yeah.
You wanna, dim the lights down and
Yeah.
then I'll share my screen and you can just tell me which one you want.
So there I am. That's my logo. That's me. So scroll down. Sometimes I make strange jokes, so I just know that this one is going to be safe. And that's not my normal thing.
100 cities.
100 American cities.
Okay.
This is
I
a
know,
virtual tour, and I know this is good for every audience, so you don't have to worry about me saying anything strange.
Let me see the audio.
United States, the country most people watching this video are lucky enough to call home. This country stretches from the Atlantic to the Pacific with amazing people, natural wonders, amazing states, and cities. In this video, we embark on a trip across America. To take in the beauty of one has. We hear so many negative things about the United States' most populated cities and the beauty each one has.
start to finish in production. Okay. In production, like, what's that span of time?
So that one took quite a while because I wrote that script. And you know, there's a million and one things you can say about each city. So it's like I would write, you know, 40 things, then I'd have no, these are the two interesting ones. So that took a long time for me to just go through all of them. And it's really just 2 lines. I'd say the city and I give you 2 lines about it. But for each one, I wrote a whole bunch and then just narrowed it down. So that was the most time consuming thing. To actually record that, that's what you guys don't hear on that video is this is what it sounds like when I'm doing it in my office. I'm like, Los Angeles, home of the world, home of the Hollywood, home of Hollywood, the home of Hollywood, the entertainment capital of the world. And then I go back and I have an editing thing where I take out all those mistakes, push it all together. Also, if you watch my videos and just about any other YouTube videos, we don't all talk nonstop. I'm one of the only guys that talks a lot, but everyone removes those little gaps and those ums and all that. So if you're listening to them and you're all, wow, this person just keeps talking, there's no breaths, there's no anything. No, we just eliminated it. We just cut it out and pushed it all together. So it's just like anything. It's just like Hollywood. Jerry Seinfeld did not shoot his show in New York City. It was in Burbank, California.
Do you use that same CapCut or Filmora to do the?
No, I have another software. So I have some expensive softwares to do that. Every time I say softwares, it doesn't sound right. I don't think that's a word. But anyway, there's some software that I bought and it's really good, but I still keep going back to this one that's free called Audacity. And it's really easy to use and you just snip it out. And I have these other ones that'll do all this stuff for me and it's not as easy and I don't feel like I have as much control as Audacity. And so I just keep going back to Audacity. And I bummed out. I bought all this other software thinking, oh, well, this will help me this, and I'll try it for like a week. Well, this stuff sucks. It's too complicated.
Did you do a video about that?
I really should. But there's, just like everything on YouTube, there's probably 60 videos with my same take on it already. Good to see you're still wearing a mask. I got COVID for the 4th time 2 weeks ago. Yes! What was your name again? Julia, okay.
Is there like a kind of video that's your favorite to make?
My favorite type of video to make. I like it. I do these essays occasionally, and I like to do more, but they don't get views. And I'll take a subject like one of my favorite ones was, why does Wyoming have such a small population? And it's really interesting why they don't. If you look at how states grow, anyway, video essays are my favorite. I do lists, and that's where my money is made, making lists about places, but the essays are my favorite. Like the whole premise of this one, or what the video was about, was Wyoming has such a low population compared to all these other states around it, and why is that? I mean, it has the same offerings and stuff like that. Well, it's back to the beginning. When people were moving out west, there were easier places to farm and homestead versus Wyoming. Wyoming doesn't have as much surface water. Their land's a little more rugged. So people would just choose to keep going past Wyoming and end up in Washington and Idaho instead of there. So their growth was stunted. And it takes an incredible amount of time for a city or state to gain 1 million people. And since they were stunted in the very beginning, and now all those things that were the problem back then can be overcome, but they're so far behind the curve, they'll never catch up with Montana, Colorado, Idaho, stuff like that. The other one I did, which I really liked, was there's this thing, everyone thinks Californians are ruining their state. Well, California didn't get to where they are today with that many people without people from other states moving there. So people really, in a way, aren't moving to your state. They're moving back. Californians aren't moving to your state. Your own people are moving back to your state. Maybe it's their grandkids or their kids, but a lot of the people that came during the Great Depression came to California looking for jobs. And they came from the Midwest, they came from the South and all this other stuff. So really, all these Californians are just going back to where their family's from in a lot of cases. Now, it's not everyone, but that's a good majority. And California's in the situation they're in because they got too crowded. They got too popular, which they've been popular since the 1840s. And now, it's become too hard to manage. And they've made some bad errors and stuff like that. And there's no getting around that. But yeah, people are, they're ruining our state. No, well, you ruined California, your people. So just take them back and we're fine. That's how it is. And then you get some people on YouTube that are, well, we shouldn't let Californians into our state. Well, okay, so next time we have a depression and all the jobs are in California, should we tell all you people from Iowa to go back and starve because these are our jobs and we close the border to other Americans? It's just that's the other thing. Let's talk about this for a minute. I've got a good subject that I feel strongly about. YouTube comment sections are toxic, not as toxic as Twitter. Twitter is to the point where I can't even look at it. If I look at it for more than 5 minutes, I get in a really bad mood. So I've eliminated Twitter from my life for the most part. I post a video on there so people go watch my video and then I get off it because there is, God, what's the word I'm looking for? Ignorance and hate is all Twitter is these days. And it's too bad. It started out with good intentions and now it's turned into a toxic waste dump. That's what it reminds me of. But the YouTube comment section is kind of weird. And it's filled with people that have political views also, not nearly as bad as Twitter. And there's a lot of hate on it. Now, if you do start a channel, one of the first things I would suggest you do is there's a way you could block certain words. Think of any racial slur you can and block that word right away. Because if you don't, people will use it. Any kind of slur about any person, just think about it. Ask your friends if they've heard any. Block them all so they don't have to make your channel ugly like their life is. And yeah, I feel strong about this. I'm sorry. I'm sure they're redeemable at some point in their life, but most of the time, if they're an internet troll, they're not. And this is what I've learned about internet trolls being a YouTuber. I am a stand-up comedian, or used to be, and I was an insult comic. I know how to insult people pretty good. I'm very good at it. It's not a skill I'm proud of, but I do excel at this. So I've learned when trolls say something to me and I give them anything back, they're offended. And all of a sudden I'm thin-skinned and I can't take criticism. It's like, okay, you don't start off constructive criticism with, you should be embarrassed by this video. That's what I told a girl one day. So you just can't take criticism. Well, don't start off your video with, you should be embarrassed. And but that's not constructive criticism. But yeah, if you read your comments and you're going to be offended, that's one thing I will tell people. It's block words. And unless you're up for it, don't even talk to the haters. Ignore them. They
don't engage. Don't
engage. That's what they all say. Don't engage. I like to engage because I'm that kind of twisted weirdo, but don't engage with them and you'll be fine, and block all their nonsense. That's good. And they always say on YouTube, don't block people. It'll ruin your channel. I block people all the time. I block just people that are just toxic human beings that just want to spread their anger to everyone else, and they're blocked on my channel. And there's no need for it. No need for it. And then they get it's freedom of speech. No, it's called hate speech, and that's not free. So yeah.
Can you report?
Oh, I report people all the time. I've had death threats.
Oh.
Yeah, people get worked up over talking bad about their city. Now, most of them are just some kid or some person that's just unhappy at their house, and there's no intention of doing it. They just say it to get a rise out of you. But on YouTube, they tell you if people make death threats, you have to report it. So I report people all the time, and I've gone back to see their channel. in the beginning, does YouTube do anything about that? And then it's just the channel's gone. So yeah, they get knocked out. And there's one guy I know that he was such a toxic human being on YouTube. His last name was Brady, and he used his real name. YouTube actually sued him and banned him from having a YouTube account ever. So they've got his IP address and all this other stuff, and he, by court order, because he went to court over this, he can never have a YouTube channel. He can never leave a comment again. If he gets caught, he could, I think it was jail time, or they suspended some money that YouTube won. And if he gets on YouTube again and they catch him, he's got to pay this like $160,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what else he was doing? So if you, let's say you file a claim, like you made a video and I just posted on my YouTube channel. you can give me a copyright strike. If you get 3 of them, your channel's gone. This guy was getting mad at people and he would just give them copyright strikes. And you know, that's a big deal. For me, I'm lucky enough to have an attorney that would squash that right away. There was kids out there that are Minecraft kids going, what do I do about my channel? And this guy would demand them send him money or Bitcoin, or he was going to give him the 3rd strike, which deletes your channel. Yeah, so that's why YouTube sued him to make a point out of it. So yeah, he'll never be on YouTube again.
Do you get notification when people make a comment on a video? So say it's a video that you did 4 years ago, somebody discovered your channel and now they make a comment and ask a question. Do you get notifications?
So I look at this phone all the time, and there's one section on here, comments, and I just look at it randomly, and I'll see some of them, especially if I see one of my old thumbnails show up from like 2 years ago. Oh, that's kind of weird. What do they want? And I'll pay attention to them. I don't have time because while we've been sitting here, I've probably gotten no less than 10,000 comments.
Wow.
So I can only see so many, and I answer them when I can. And you know, so yeah, if it's older, if I see one of the older thumbnails, I'm like, oh, what do they want? That's old. Why are they commenting on that? That's usually interesting to me. I try and comment the first hour of videos up to as many people as I can. They say that's a good strategy and people are engaging with the video. I try and do that. Sometimes I just don't.
Is there a better time of day when to post?
Yes, there's a better time of day.
Or uploading?
Upload, yeah. So for me, it depends on when your audience is there. Most of my audience is in the United States. My best time to upload is when people are at lunch on the East Coast, or when they're getting off work on the East Coast. So me, I upload at 9 in the morning or 2 in the afternoon. If I miss the 9 in the morning one, then it goes up at 2.
And how do you same thing? So you look at the statistical data on your other
your
other videos to kind of pinpoint those direct times as to when to post.
Well, there's a thing on my analytics
Yeah.
that shows my audience, and it's this little thing right here. You guys probably can't see it, but it shows when most of your audience is on. And so I just judge it by then because it breaks down by Sunday. Sunday I should be uploading around 6 a.m. The rest of the week, Saturday, probably around 7 a.m. The rest of the week, I should be uploading 9 a.m. or 2 p.m. Yeah, so it tells you all that stuff. I mean, there's so many different things. There's 2 lines here. One are how many new viewers did I get this day? How many old viewers came back that day? And then unique viewers. Last month, I had 12 billion unique viewers.
Wow.
First time there.
Yeah, so it's weird.
Do you have to hit like a certain number of like viewers or like videos uploaded to be able to like access that data? Because I know with like other platforms, in order to see it, you have to like hit a certain number.
So some of them that have to do with money don't matter to you if you're not already in what they call the partner program, which you can make YouTube videos for a year and they'll send you, let's say you get, I think it's 500 subscribers and 3,000 hours of view time, right? So once you have that, they'll offer you the partner program, then you start getting paid. Well, until you get the partner program, they're not going to show you any of the money stats whatsoever. 3,000 hours seems like a lot, but when you're only uploading once a month, yeah, it takes a while to get there. But I think today I'm already at like, it's 12:58. I think I'm like at 14,000 viewing hours right now. So basically they take every minute that all the thousands of people watch and they add it all up. How you doing? Everything working out? Getting tired? Need a Red Bull? You do, don't you? But yeah, so yeah, there's just too many stats, and that's another thing. As you get into it, you get overwhelmed by the stats, and eventually you start to understand which ones you should be looking at, which ones you need to care about. Any questions, Lucas? No? Okay. We've almost come to the end of our adventure, I think.
9 minutes. Yeah.
9 minutes. 9 minutes, and everyone can go back to their class and do whatever they're supposed to be doing.
So with this trip that you have coming up, aside from the cruise, is all those cities that you're going to, those stops, is that all around content?
Content. Everything I do is around content. If I if I travel downtown Portland, I'm gonna get some content, at least a short. Fancy little skill I picked up from COVID that caught in my jacket now, and I can't stop doing it. So anywhere I go, I film, because you never know when it's going. That's why I got these glasses. They have a camera on it. So if I see anything now, I don't even have to reach my phone. I just do that and I start filming. I'm not filming, by the way. At least I hope I'm not. So yeah, anything I can, if I can get footage of anything, you never know when it's coming. I have hard drives, like portable hard drives. Probably have like 15 of them that are like 10 gigs each, and I just fill them up and I try and categorize them. Most of the time I look through them every other month and go, what was on here again? And then I try and categorize them again. But yeah, anytime I get footage, I get footage, because I never know when I'm going to need it. When I go to Galveston Thursday, I'm renting because it's a small little port town and everyone drives golf carts, and I'm going to put a GoPro on that and just do a little tour of Galveston, and the video is just going to be the driving thing and some stats here. That a friend of mine, Nick Johnson, you started off doing the same thing I did, and he started driving all across the country. I'm talking for the last year, he's gone to every state. But he focuses on the really negative part of things. So he's visiting homeless camps and stuff like that, and he's killing it. And
What's his name?
Nick Johnson.
Interesting videos.
Yeah, in the early days, it was very similar to mine. Now he drives around the country and basically talks to people in homeless camps. And, you know, he was in the Appalachian talking to people.
Oh, yeah, I see his videos.
Yeah, he's actually was my first podcast I did on my channel. But yeah, he's been killing it lately. And so that's why I'm going to start doing a little more of that too. Go out and travel and do these things. I kind of like to stay on the happier side of things. I'm not up for going into homeless camps or the Appalachian Mountains and, you know, find someone's moonshine still or something like that. But that's just me.
And so you just film with your camera, a GoPro, do you have?
I have the coolest.
Like,
I use my phone. I use anything in my hand. The best piece of equipment you could use is whatever you have available. The one I like to use is called a DJI Pocket. You guys ever seen that?
mm-hmm.
You know the drones, they have that little camera on there. The camera's really good. Well, this is a stick with a drone camera on it, a little screen. And it stays up here. I could chase after you, and it's on a gimbal. So it looks like I'm floating behind you. You know how if you try and chase someone with your phone, and you can't tell what's going on, or if you try and move it at all? This thing looks like I'm floating, and I could be jogging behind you. They could be doing this, and the camera's like this the whole time. And it looks really cool. So I use that a lot. And when I drive, when I travel places, because there's nothing worse than shaky footage.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's what I use most of the time. And then my phone, anything else I can grab. I used to have these big old cameras, and I was like, these are waste. I don't even use them. So.
Do you use like vlogging cameras at all when you?
That's the stick one. Works, yeah. It works really good. It's also now got a little mic I can attach to my shirt, so the audio's great. It's perfect.
And that's DJI.
DJI Pocket 3. Pocket 2 is not that bad, and I think they dropped it down to like $200. It started off like $500, so now I think you get it on Amazon for like $200. And it fits in your pocket. It's literally, it's the size of a good sized Snicker bar.
Wow.
Yeah, that's all it is. Pretty cool. Okay, we're almost done. You've got to have one more question, Lucas. No? Julia? No? Anyone? No? I forgot your name again, sorry.
Andy.
Huh?
Andy.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, do you guys have any more questions for me?
Thinking.
Thinking? Okay, so yeah. So my videos, you should watch them. They are, for the most part, PG. I don't use any curse words or anything like that. Sometimes I talk about laws and states that might be a little, risque, but nothing terrible. So yeah, and if you are any teachers out there, or if you guys talk to any teachers, my On This Day channel is kind of focused towards classes. And here's the best part of that channel. Do you guys know what Donors Choose is? Donors Choose is a website, which I donate all the money from that to that website. Teachers will put up projects they have, and you could donate to the project, and they just send the money. It's like a GoFundMe for teachers. So my On This Day channel, all the money goes to classrooms. And that's why I try and build it so much.
It's
So
called, what's the website called?
on this day, it's you. Oh, the website is Donors Choose. Or Donors Choice, something like that. Donors Choose.
How is AI changing?
AI is changing things a lot. That's one of the biggest problems I face right now. People basically have been taking my script, running it through an AI voice and adding new pictures and videos. It's basically my video. And so what happens is if I put a video up about Denver, someone copies that video. Usually it's about 3 people copy it within 2 days. They start taking some of my views away.
Can you see who or how many people are copying your videos?
I get my viewers send me links all the time, but normally if I type in any one of my videos, I can see who's copying my videos, especially if it's a video that did good. I just type in, search for that subject, and I can see, okay, this came out a day after me. That one came out 2 days after me. How amazing. We must be thinking the same things.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's pretty rough.
And then you just go after them and.
Yes, no, it's really hard. And I mean, if they're just copying, taking my video and uploading it, I can go after them. But if they take my script and they record it with an AI voice and add some new pictures, they're clear. Now, my attorney has told me that we're going to start copywriting all my scripts. And then if they do the AI voice thing, we can have them shut down because that's copyright infringement because they just copied my script. Now, if I don't have it copywritten, I can't do anything about it. And I don't know if you guys know this, but I didn't know it until I became a comedian. Copywriting stuff, you could send them a novel and it costs you $25. You could send them 2 pages, it costs you $25. Copyright something at the copyright office. Now I have an attorney, it costs me about $300 to copyright anything, but I just tell him what it is and I send it to him and he takes care of all the paperwork, which is fine. So yeah, copyright everything. I think we're done, guys.
Speaking of AI, I saw an ad for something where you can literally just have a video generated entirely with AI,
Yeah.
like script, video, it's just so lazy and.
It's horrible, and eventually they're not gonna let people monetize. So CapCut has a thing, AI generated video. And you just have to type in what the subject is, they'll make you a video supposedly, and they'll gather, it is so bad. It is so bad. I just tried out make a love story about a man and a woman and a child. That's all I put in there. It turned it into this weird video of a girl that's probably like 19 and the guy is like my age. I was like, oh my God. And the narration voice was, Julie was a I was like, oh my God, what is, I wonder if I have that on here someplace. I don't think I do. I think on my computer. It is hysterical. I got to put it up one of these days. But it's just this voice that sounds like, you guys remember the Little Rascals? Remember Froggy?
Yeah.
Imagine Froggy if he was a heavy smoker. That's what this sounded like. And he's now 60 years old. It was like, Julie and Jerry met each other. And I'm like, oh my God, this is horrible. It was ridiculous. All right. Guys, I'm glad you could spend this quality time with me.